Morning, folks. Snow's melting. Dripping pretty good. It's really soft and squishy. So yesterday, somebody in the comments said that I whine too much. Well, you're probably right. I probably do. But you gotta put yourself in kind of maybe my shoes a little bit, and it's really tough when you watch something that you love dying, you know. All my life I've hunted and trapped and fished, and all those things are very important to me. Hunting here now is absolutely terrible. It's been ruined. When we moved here in '91, hunting was good. A lot of animals. You could be kind of choosy about looking for a bigger deer and that sort of thing. Now you're lucky to see a buck at all, let alone a big one. The fishing, I've kind of gotten away from that. Cindy doesn't like to fish, and there's never time in the summertime. I'd like to go fishing more, and maybe I'll try to do that. And I'd like to go prospecting and do some of that other stuff too. That's fun. But prospecting prices, the gold is up around $4,000 an ounce now. That's incredible. It takes a lot to get an ounce, though. I mean, I worked several summers at it pretty hard and didn't get there very much. I did find some, and it's kind of fun to do, but it's just kind of a fun to do thing. Now the trapping, like I say, I've had it good for a long time. I mean, I've had that area back there to myself. The local guys, we all kind of keep tabs on each other, and we compare notes. We help each other out, and we try not to crowd in on everybody else and overlap. And if we do set traps back in somebody else's kind of spot, we talk to them about it first. You know, it's all a kind of a respectful thing. And I can't think of any trapper here that I'm not friends with, that I know of anyway. And anyway, it's not that way with everybody. But like I say, used to be, before we could manage them, man, there was wolves everywhere. There's lots and lots of tracks, and couldn't go anywhere without finding tracks someplace, and there was too many wolves. And our hunting just went downhill further and further, and then we were finally allowed to manage them, and that was helping for a while. I was seeing calf elk and fawn deer, and things were improving. And then several bad winters in a row, that kind of turned that around again. I didn't even buy an elk tag this year. I mean, there's no point in it. There's elk around, but it's so few of them that, man, you can spend a lot of money in a big hurry and come home empty-handed anyway. So anyway, the numbers of wolves are way down now. And, you know, that's not just me saying it either. You look on the Fish and Game website and things, we have fewer wolves now than we've had. But there's still, I think they figure like 1,500 to 2,000 statewide. But it's a pretty good sized state too. But I think around 1,500, I think, what they're figuring. And a lot of it, you know, the very southern end of Idaho, it's open hayfields and things, and there aren't any down on that end, so it's mostly probably the upper 2/3 that have them. But anyway, it's just frustrating is all. I don't mean to be whining, but it is frustrating. I put in a lot of hours with trail cameras, a lot of time and money in batteries and cameras and gas to go check them and that kind of thing. And then, you know, have somebody crowd in on you and do that kind of thing. It is very hard to take. Now, I got this machine of Jeff's that I can get up the mountain with and go up there. And I never had time to finish my own contraption I was building. I still want to. But before I can do that, I'm going to have to get these wheels fixed. In fact, I'm going into town here in a minute to the snowmobile shop to ask them if they have any. If they do, I can fix those easy. All you gotta do is, oops, that bolt there on the end, you just unscrew that. Those bearings that are on there that are shot, they slide right off, and you slide a new wheel on there and put the bolt back in. You have to see how close the rubber is to that bolt, though. You have to kind of lift this up somewhat and get the pressure off of that track so that they do sit flat again. But they're like $60 or so a piece. They're not real cheap. So hopefully no more will fall apart. But I'm kind of thinking they will. They're, that's going back there to check those traps is a 40-mile round trip. That's spinning a lot of times. And, they've had this machine here for years, and we've put a lot of miles on those bearings. There's, I meant to look, I think there's probably like 8 or maybe 10 to a track, because there's some on the inside as well as on the outside. And, that's quite a bit of money. If they start falling apart and needing to be replaced, then that's what you got to do. But you got to come up with that money. So that's, I think, the easiest thing in the world to do. So anyhow, go see if they got any of them. If not, I can get them off of eBay. So then I gotta go down and feed the cow in the burrow. They were whining. Cindy went down there to to walk the dogs on the fairgrounds and look things over like we do every day. And they all come to run into the fence, wondering where their grain was. So, and then that wood smoke last night. Man, between the hiccups and the smoke in there, kind of rough. I got to get some, what do you call it, wood stove sealer. It's kind of like a caulking, but it's for high temperature, and figure out where that smoke's coming out of there from. It was getting kind of cloudy inside. But anyhow, got nothing much today. I gotta go and keep swamping stuff out there at the fairgrounds and get some of that stuff moved out. There's still a lot of stuff there to do and to go through and get rid of and that kind of thing. I don't have a ton of time to be trapping this year anyway, which is another part of my frustration, really. This job at the fairgrounds, the reason I like this job so much is because it is seasonal, and it gives me time in the winter time to go hunting and trapping and do the things I like to do. But you pay for it too. It doesn't pay, as good as a lot of jobs do. But it's a good trade-off to have the time off, and and like I say, then when the rug kind of gets yanked out from under you, it's kind of frustrating and tough to take. Got to put these away yet too. I got some dang many traps and things. This is just a tiny number of them. I got traps in boxes. I got traps hanging on the inside of the shed down there and all sorts of places, and a bunch of cable, trap and wire, electric boat motor. Go fishing maybe. Anyway, see you folks tomorrow. Just life. Always disappointments in life. Bye.